So I welcome you once again. So we will discuss the next type of special semiconductor device, that is diag. Diag, it is nothing but it is a diode for alternating current. So normal PN junction diodes will be the diodes for direct current, and these kind of special semiconductor devices are the diode for the alternating current. Diag is a two terminal and four layered bidirectional semiconductor device. So there will be only two terminals like MT2 and MT1, and there will be four layers, and it is a bidirectional device. Bidirectional device in the sense, so current can flow from MT2 to MT1 as well as from MT1 to MT2, or you can say the diode can be switched on for either polarity of the applied voltage. So whether you keep the MT2 positive with respect to MT1, or MT1 if it is kept positive with respect to MT2, doesn't make any difference. Current will flow in both directions. So as it conducts in both directions, it is also called as a bilateral triggered device. In the construction, initially you can see the five layers of uh, semiconductor layers here. But the thing is, so once we apply the bias, or once we apply the potential across MT2 and MT1, only depending upon the polarity in which the biasing is done from MT2 to MT1, only four layers will come into action. That we will see in the its working. This is the symbol of the diode, symbol of the diag. It is a symbol here. You can see it looks like two PN junction diode if they are connected in opposite anti-parallel fashion. So you can see here, if you make this terminal positive and this terminal negative, then this diode will be forward biased and current will flow from top end to bottom end. And if you reverse the potential, means if this is kept positive and if this is made negative, then this diode is forward biased and resulting current will flow from bottom to top. So this is another symbol that can be used for diag. So if you see the working here, so as we saw here, there are five layers, but here it is shown with only four layers. Let us see if MT1 is made positive with respect to MT2. So here MT1 is made positive with respect to MT2. Sorry, I have made a mistake here. This is main terminal 1. This is main terminal 1 and this is main terminal 2. Main terminal 2. Let's say if MT1 is made positive with respect to MT2. Let's keep this MT1 terminal positive, and let me erase this. So MT1 is positive with respect to MT2 here. So now the resulting layers of diag are P1, N2, P2 and N3. So the same is shown here, P1, N2, P2 and N3. These four layers will come into picture whenever we make MT1 positive with respect to MT2. Let's say in the reverse case, in the next slide, in the reverse case, in the sense, let me erase all this. If this is MT1, this is MT2. If MT2 is positive with respect to MT1, or you can say this is negative. Now, so the four layers that come into actions are P2, N2, P1 and N1. The same layers are shown here. So you can see here, this is again an SCR and this is again an SCR here. So SCR, as we saw in the previous video, SCR consists of four layers, and here also there are four layers only. And if you see here, this P is connected to positive, or let's say this is assumed to be anode and this is assumed to be, if it is assumed to be cathode, anode is connected to positive terminal of the battery source and cathode is connected to negative terminal of the battery source. I can say this diac, this diac, it behaves like an SCR in the forward biasing mode. Means, so this is the junction J1, this is the junction J2, and this is the junction J3. So if you apply potential like this, the junction J1 and J3 both are forward biased and the junction J2 is reverse biased. Initially, if the applied voltage, let's say this is the applied voltage, if the applied voltage is less than the breakover voltage, or you can say if the applied voltage is initially small, a small current can flow from anode to cathode. So that is a leakage current which is due to minority charge carriers, as the J2 is reverse biased. This is going to provide an opposition to the flow of current from anode to cathode. If this voltage is increased to a particular point where this junction J2 gets broken down, once the junction J2 gets broken down, a large current is going to result from anode to cathode, or I can say whenever the applied voltage is more than the breakover voltage of the diac, the junction J2 gets broken down, a large current results from anode to cathode. The current direction is shown here. Similarly here, so as we see that MT1 is made negative here with respect to MT2. If you apply potential here, again you can see this is like an SCR and is operated in the forward biasing condition. Here the junction J1, J2, J3, the junction J3 and junction J1 both are forward biased and junction J2 is reverse biased. So as long as the supplied potential is less than the breakover voltage, the junction J2 will oppose the current flow from anode to cathode. Now the terminals are, this behaves like an anode and this terminal behaves like a cathode. A current that will flow from anode to cathode is very minimal, or you can say leakage current will flow, that is due to minority charge carriers. Once the supplied potential crosses the breakover voltage, the junction J2 will get broken down. Again it results a large current from anode to cathode. So in brief, I can say irrespective of whether you apply the whether you make the MT1 positive with respect to MT2 or MT2 is made positive with respect to MT1, always there is a current that is going to result. Only the thing is, here the current is flowing from MT1 to MT2 and here the current is flowing from MT2 to MT1. So that's why it is a bilateral triggered. This is also called as a bilateral triggered device or diode. If you see the VI characteristics, the VI characteristics are very similar to the in the forward bias. If you see the forward bias characteristics, so here you can see as long as the applied voltage is less than VBO, a very small current is going to result. This is due to this is also called as a leakage current, that is due to minority charge carriers. Once this forward voltage becomes more than VBO value, then the breakover of the junction J2 occurs and a large current is going to result. That is, this large current is going to result. But at the same time, like SCR, this also will show the negative resistance region. So whenever the current through the diac increases, at the same time the voltage across it will get decreased. So that's why it shows the negative resistance region from here onwards. So current is going to increase. Similarly, in case of reverse bias, as you see here, this is a reverse bias operation. Here also the similar behavior as in case of first quadrant is observed. Only the thing is both the voltage and current are treated to be negative, and these characteristics are plotted in the third quadrant. If you see the forward bias as well as the reverse bias characteristics, they are symmetrical to each other. Symmetrical to each other in the sense they look like same only. The only difference that you are going to find while comparing the diac with SCR is the absence of gate control. There is no gate control here. In SCR you have seen that with the different gate currents, the breakover was achieved at the earlier stage. Since there is no gate control terminal here, means the breakover will be only at a particular value. The breakover cannot be reached at the earlier stage. That's it. Thank you. So next special type of semiconductor device is triac. So this is a triode for alternating current. So here triode in the sense it consists of three terminals. So basically again like diac, this is a bidirectional device, means the current can flow from MT2 to MT1 as well as from MT2 to MT1 as well as from MT1 to MT2. But the only difference that you're going to see when you compare the triac with the diac is the presence and absence of the gate control. In case of diac, there were two diodes which are connected in anti-parallel fashion, and the current was bidirectional. Here also this is a bidirectional device only, but there will be a controlling terminal to decide the breaker voltage, that is gate will be there. Like SCR, here also there will be gate. But if you compare this with an SCR, in case of SCR, SCR was never operated in reverse biasing fashion, but this triac can be operated in reverse bias fashion as well without destroying the device. In construction you can see this is a three terminal device, so which is basically constructed by using two SCRs that are connected in the opposite directions with a common gate terminal. Here you can see one SCR, the first SCR, and this is the second SCR. So first SCR's cathode and second SCR's anode both are connected together and a common terminal is taken, which is known as MT2. And the first SCR's anode and the second SCR's cathode both are connected together. Another common terminal is taken, which is known as MT1. The gates of these two SCRs are connected, are shorted together, and a common terminal is taken out, which is known as gate. So if you show this, the symbol, if you show the symbol, it looks like this. So here some point is written, as it is a bidirectional device, here current can flow from MT2 to MT1 as well and vice versa. So your current can flow from MT2 to MT1 as well as MT1 to MT2. So based on the way in which we bias it. Again, here the triac can be turned on by applying either positive or negative voltage to the gate with respect to MT1. So here remember the gate is near to the MT1 terminal. So if you apply a positive voltage of the gate or negative voltage of the gate with respect to MT1, in both cases the breaker voltage can be reduced. Let us see the working here. Let us consider whenever MT2 is made positive with respect to MT1. Let's say here MT2 is connected to positive terminal and MT1 is connected to negative terminal with a positive gate voltage. So the operation is very similar to that of SCR only, as long as this applied potential is less than VBO, there won't be a current flow from MT1 to MT2 to MT1. Once this applied voltage becomes more than VBO, there will be a resulting large current will result from MT2 to MT1. That is, whenever V value is greater than VBO, a large current will result from MT2 to MT1 by destroying the J2 junction. So the importance of gate here is, so if we provide more and more gate voltage, means if we increase the IC current value, if IC current value is increased, then the breaker can be achieved at the earlier stage. Breaker voltage decreases. So the explanation is same for SCR also. And here, irrespective of whether the gate is made, here the gate is made positive with respect to MT1, but here the gate is made negative with respect to MT1, the behavior of the circuit will remain same. Similarly, so here the current will flow from MT2 to MT1, remember. So in case 2, MT1 is made positive with respect to MT2. So you can see here MT2 is negative and MT1 is connected to positive terminal of the battery. So as long as this applied potential is less than, again the same expression holds good here, as long as the applied voltage is less than the breadcore voltage, there won't be any current flow from MT1 to MT2. Once this applied voltage becomes more than the breadcore voltage, the junction J2 gets destroyed and a large current results from MT1 to MT2. Now the current is flowing in this direction. So here in this case also, if you provide more and more gate current, so here you are providing a negative gate current. If you provide more and more gate current, this breadcore voltage can be reduced, or the breadcore can occur at the earlier stage itself. This is the first case. In second case, here the gate is made positive with respect to MT1. Again the current will flow from MT1 to MT2 only. Only the thing is the gate current, or you can in the sense, or you can say, so whether the gate is made positive or whether the gate is made negative with respect to MT1 doesn't make any difference in its operation. The operation, it remains same. So if we plot the graph, or if you see the VI characteristics of the triac, so you can see this is nothing but forward bias, or you can say here the MT2 is made positive with respect to MT1. So whenever MT2 was made positive with respect to MT1, so here you have seen a current flow from MT2 to MT1. So here the voltage as well as the current flow both are treated as positive. That's why this is drawn in the first quadrant. And here you can see this is without applying any gate voltage, that Ig is equal to 0. The breadcore is achieved at this stage. The reason till here, it is nothing but a forward blocking reason. So until the value of applied voltage is less than VBO value, a very small current is going to result, that is a leakage current, that is due to minority charge carriers. Once the applied voltage becomes equal to VBO, again like SCR, here also it will show a negative resistance reason, in the sense the IC current all of a sudden is going to increase, at the same time the voltage is going to decrease. So the same negative resistance characteristics is observed with a higher gate current value here. The only difference is the breadcore voltage is now reduced, and this is for higher value of Ig. Again this is for higher value of Ig. As the Ig values increase, the breadcore is achieved at the earlier stage. The same characteristics are observed even in case of reverse bias. So in case of reverse bias, so only the difference is here the MT1 was made positive. MT1 was made positive with respect to MT2, and the current flow is assumed to be in the reverse direction. So that's why the both the voltage as well as the current both are assumed to be negative. So the characteristics, they lie in the third quadrant. That is the only difference. Again like diac also, the difference between diac and triac you have found out here, because you can see in diac there was only one curve, but in triac you are seeing so many curves with different Ig value, because there is a presence of gate control, and here there is no gate control. And like diac, in diac characteristics, they were symmetrical. The characteristics were symmetrical. The forward bias as well as the reverse bias characteristics were symmetrical. Like diac, here also the characteristics, they are symmetrical. They look same each other. Okay. And the next special type of diode we are going to see is varactor diode. It is a special type of PN junction diode which is manufactured to show the voltage variable capacitance when it is reverse bias. So this is going to exhibit a special property of variable capacitance value depending upon the reverse bias voltage. Such diodes are also called as varicap, voltcap, or tuning diodes. You can see the construction here. This is like a normal junction diode only, but only the thing is it will show a special property whenever it is reverse biased. And here you can see here there is a diode here. After the diode there is an this is made like a capacitor symbol, which indicates that it is a variable capacitance. So if you observe the if you see the working here, so here this is an normal, it looks like a normal PN junction diode. So here, so and this P region is connected to negative terminal of the battery and N region is connected to positive terminal of the battery. I can say this varactor diode now it is reverse biased. And as we see the basic operation of the diode, so whenever the diode is reverse biased, the depletion region is going to increase. The depletion region at the junction is going to increase because all holes will be pulled towards the negative terminal of the battery source, and all electrons are pulled towards the positive terminal of the battery source. They move away from the junction. That's why they are going to result a large depletion region. Now you can see this construction, it looks like a this schematic, it looks like a capacitor here. Here you can see a large number of holes here, and here you are going to see a large number of electrons. These two are separated by the depletion layer. This depletion layer is nothing but it is depleted of free charge carriers, or you can say it acts like an insulator between these two positive and negative electrodes. You can draw the diagram like this. This is the P region, positive electrode, and this is the N region, negative electrode. These two are separated by a insulating medium of depletion layer. Means the schematic, it looks like a capacitor. As we know that the capacitor is nothing but it consists of two parallel conducting plates. They are separated by an insulating medium called as dielectric. This structure, it looks like same. So if you calculate the capacitance value of varactor diode, the transistor capacitance is given by epsilon A divided by W. Here you should consider this W. W is nothing but the W is going to indicate the width of the depletion layer. Epsilon is nothing but the permittivity, and A is nothing but area of PN junction. So here this W is going to vary according to the reverse bias applied here. Let's say with a small reverse bias voltage, the depletion region is small, or you can simply write this equation as CT is going to vary in an inverse proportion with the width of the depletion layer. Let's say there is a small reverse bias voltage, obviously the width will be small. If the width is small, the capacitance will be high. If you go on increasing this reverse bias voltage, let's say for the larger value, so the depletion region is going to spread more towards the P and N regions, or you can say the width of the depletion region increases. As the width increases, the capacitance is going to decrease. Like this, by applying the reverse bias voltage, you will be varying the width of the depletion layer. In converse, you will be varying the junction capacitance. If you see the characteristics curve here, so initially let's say at this point the applied reverse bias voltage is 0, means a very small depletion layer will be there and the capacitance will be very high. So as we increase the reverse bias voltage, as we provide more and more reverse bias voltage, the junction width is going to increase, but at the same time the capacitance is going to decrease. You will get a curve like this. And regarding applications, it is used in frequency modulators, tuned circuits, TV receivers, automatic frequency gain circuits, as well as in the adjustable bandpass filter. Thank you.